Alrighty. Let's dive in. Thanks for joining today. This is Loyola University, Chicago. There we go. All right, so Loyola University, Chicago, we're a Jesuit Catholic school. If you're not familiar with who the Jesuits are, they're the largest order of priests within the Catholic Church. And they're really focused on education. They're most known throughout the world for their commitment to education. The big thing for you as a student to kind of think of and keep in mind when you're looking at different colleges, like the Jesuit education is primarily just like to give you a really well-rounded liberal arts education. So you'll be an expert in your major. You'll know all the know-how of that field, but you're going to be really well-versed and strong in all kinds of backgrounds, all different knowledge areas through our core curriculum. Second big thing is social justice. Jesuits are very committed to improving the community here in Chicago and across the world. So we just want you to like take what you're learning in your classroom and like get out into the world and actually help your fellow human being, whether that's through some kind of outreach here in the city or going abroad and like immersing yourself in a different background via study abroad. We just want you to like get out, become a more well-rounded person that's really focused on like helping the community. Speaking of community, we are a mid-sized school, just over 12,000 undergrads, which is really great in terms of the feel of the student body. I should have mentioned at the beginning, I am not only a counselor for Loyola Chicago, I did my undergrad here from 2011 to 2015 and come from the Chicago suburbs. So I definitely know, I can personally attest to that nice mid-sized feel where you get the new faces every year, but also that great like tight-knit community, which is awesome when you're walking around our Lakeshore campus. And looking at like the student body demographics and the diversity, it's really great. I mean, I'm from the Midwest and met a lot of other Midwesterners, but some of my best friends that I met at Loyola are from Miami, Florida, Los Angeles, Texas, New York City. So you really are going to meet people from all over. We're a very, very welcoming school in terms of multicultural, diverse backgrounds. We have a lot of great programs designed at inclusion on campus. We're also very open to, I mean, we are a Catholic school, but I myself am not Catholic. I went to public school my whole life. So that really was another thing I kind of gained a really great respect for the Jesuits are. They really just want you to be yourself, and they're really welcoming of everybody, regardless of your background. So anyone can succeed here. We are really, really trying our best to make sure we have the most welcoming and inclusive environment when it comes to students. So the pictures you're seeing right now are of the Lakeshore campus, and this is kind of home base for Loyola Chicago. So we have a couple of campuses here in Chicago, and then we have a couple across the world I'll talk about in a bit, but this is where the action starts for you as a student. This is where your freshman year begins. This is where you'll spend your freshman year in one of our 7 residence halls for freshmen. And it really is a nice traditional college campus tucked away in Chicago's north side. It's about 25, 30 minutes from downtown. It does, like you can see from the pictures, it's right on the lake. It's got all those like beautiful quads and like green areas that make it feel more like, I don't know, just very manageable. It's very nice to walk around and enjoy yourself as you go between the campus buildings for classes. And it's not too far, to walk, 15, 20 minutes from end to end. So nice and manageable campus. This is where student life is really headquartered. So in our Damon Student Union, which was finished when I was a senior in 2015. So it's pretty brand new. There's literally everything that a student would want out of a college campus. So there's a dining hall, there's a food court. It's attached to our Gentile Arena where all our D1 sports are played. There's a movie theater that shows like current movies. There's a rock climbing wall. There's a 3-floor gym that all students have access to. All kinds of multi-purpose rooms for events. There's study spaces. There's like a restaurant and pub in the basement. And a lot of like organizations and activities and clubs and fairs happen there too. So there's always something happening in Damon. That's kind of the heart of campus right now. In terms of the schools, we have a couple of schools headquartered up here: the College of Arts and Sciences, the Niehoff School of Nursing, and the Institute of Environmental Sustainability, which is probably one of the, if we were on campus, it was one of the coolest parts of the tour. If you're interested in doing a major within one of those schools, this is probably where you'll spend a lot of your time taking classes. A lot of your core classes will be up here, but you will have some flexibility. We do have another main campus in the city of Chicago. That's our Water Tower campus. This is located downtown. Oh, sorry. There you go. Located downtown in the Gold Coast area. It's like 30 minutes from the Lakeshore campus, so not too bad. Totally different vibe, though. This is 3 blocks of our downtown Chicago, right off Michigan Avenue. It's right by the John Hancock building. It's right by the old, water tower where it gets its name from, that survived the Chicago fire, just to give you an idea of location. But this is where the School of Business, the School of Communication, Education, and Social Work are. Our law school is down here. If you're interested in one of these schools or a major in these schools, that's where you'll be spending particularly a lot of your junior and senior year taking those major courses. But you'll have the opportunity to take classes between these 2 campuses regardless of major. And anytime during your 4 years, which is awesome. We do have a shuttle that runs back and forth between the 2 campuses. This keeps them very well connected. So the Water Tower campus does have an upperclassmen residence hall. Excuse me. It's got dining options, a wellness center, a gym. So it has all the amenities that the main campus have. So, but it is nice to have this difference. And that shuttle keeps the students that are at either campus connected with each other. That's just for Loyola students. Just show your ID. Comes every 15, 20 minutes, Monday through Friday. So it's the easiest way to get back and forth, basically whenever it's not rush hour. So when it is rush hour, you also will have, as a student, something called a U-Pass, which is your access to all the buses and the L in Chicago, basically any CTA vehicle. And that's what opens up the city of Chicago for you. So, for you all coming from the Chicagoland area, very probably know a lot about the city. But it goes without saying, it is a huge selling point to go to a university located in a city like Chicago. Again, speaking from experience, it's just a really amazing place to spend your 18, 19, 20, 21 years as a student, learning not just things in the classroom, but learning a lot about yourself, about the world, about your outlook. It's really great at informing that. Immersing yourself in different backgrounds, people coming from all over. Honestly, my favorite thing that I didn't really realize when I was looking at colleges when I came to Loyola was going through my 4 years, going out into the city and meeting other students that went to like DePaul and UIC and Northwestern and U Chicago or Roosevelt or something, or Columbia, and getting like that nice perspective and meeting people from different schools and different walks of life, and having this Loyola community and friend group back here on campus. It was really cool to like have that, and it didn't feel like a stale 4 years of just in the same campus all the time. But biggest thing to when we talk about Chicago is the access to opportunity. So again, really, regardless of like what your major interest is, we've got an opportunity here in the city to go get that internship sophomore, junior, senior year, go get that research opportunity here on campus, or get connected with a professor that can kind of show you their network and get you attached to a research project. So not only is it a great city to explore and utilize for your own social, personal development, but it is great for the academics and the career opportunities going forward. And Loyola will do a lot of great things to get you out into the city, whether that's like going to like Wrigley Field or something for like $10, or like go to the art museum for free. We want you to utilize all the city has to offer. Academically, we have a lot of majors and minors that are more on par with like a larger research institution. So there's really a lot of choice. When you're admitted to school, you're admitted in the whole school. So you really don't, you aren't like beholden to the Quinlan School of Business, let's say. If you want to change your mind 3 times, like I did, you can change your major very easily by just talking to your advisor, and you just have to formally declare by your senior or your sophomore year to do that. You can also, double majoring is pretty popular. I did that during my 4 years. Minors are very easy to attain. So it's really up to you as a student. There's not a lot of obstacles in your way when it comes to like diversifying your interest. But academically, the College of Arts and Sciences has like everything you could think of: humanities, theater, performing arts, life sciences, the hard sciences, things like that. Quinlan School of Business is, like I said, located downtown. They have their own career development center, so you can get connected with an internship opportunity right here in Chicago pretty easily. And then across from them downtown is the School of Communication, which has some of the coolest facilities on either campus. But there's a full-fledged, they call it a convergence lab, but it's just basically it's like a giant TV studio. So there's a radio booth, there's a broadcasting booth for podcasts, there's an editing floor in addition to the TV studio with like a green screen and everything. But it's on the first floor of the downtown campus, so it's also got that cool, like if you ever watch like APC7 down on State Street, like they have that the sidewalk there. So that's really cool for students that want to get involved in communication. The Niehoff School of Nursing is a very strong direct entry program for nursing. So this is actually an exception to the rule I mentioned. When you're applying to Loyola, you can kind of bounce around in terms of major, but nursing is an exception. If you want to do nursing, you have to apply, put it on your application and be accepted in it from the bat. To go into that program. It's a very highly structured 4 years, but you get to go to 6 or 7 different clinical rotations and you get access to our nursing sim lab where you can kind of learn to fail safely, as one of my colleagues put it once, on like dummies and stuff that can help like get you a sense of what you're going to be doing in your clinicals. The School of Education is another great program. This is one of my degrees. You start freshman year observing in the classroom, regardless of level. And you spend 1,200 hours in the classroom by the time you're done, and you're fully licensed to teach in Illinois. And that's really great in terms of like job outlook and getting you prepared for what your job's going to be. And the School of Social Work is the oldest school for social work in Illinois, and that's a 5-year program. You can get a master's degree and save yourself 1.5 years of tuition and time. IES is the Institute of Environmental Sustainability. They do a lot of great things on campus, as the name suggests, in sustainability. So a lot of the reason our campus is so green, both literally and figuratively, is because of the students and the professors in IES. The building itself is this like beautiful glass building. There's a greenhouse, there's an aquaponics farm, and then the big one is there's a biodiesel lab where they take all the waste from the dining halls and the residence halls and they turn it into fuel for the intercampus shuttles that run between our 2 campuses. And they also make all the soap with that same process on campus. So all the hand soap is made there. So it's really like a great testament to like how Loyola students are committed to kind of continuing sustainability efforts. And then finally, the Parkinson School of Health Science and Public Health is brand new. It was open last year, and that has really been thrust to the forefront in terms of what's going on across the country and across the globe today. So if you're kind of looking around and interested in going into the public health field, this is an opportunity to do that through the School of Public Health. And then lastly, the thing I say, the big thing here is this average class size and student to teacher ratio. This just can't be understated how valuable that is for you as a student. The largest class you'll take is like a freshman lecture 101. That'll be like 100 and 110 people. Outside of that, it's really going to get smaller year to year to the point where you might be taking major level classes with like 15 students. So one of my history courses was 11 students. So it really just felt like more personalized education. And that also just gets you connected to the professors who 93% of the time our professors are PhD holders. You'll most likely never have a grad assistant or a TA teach you. If anything, they'll help out in a lab or something, or they're there as a resource for you to ask questions. But teaching is done by our professors who are all experts in their field. So that's great to inherit their network too. Study abroad is a big part of what we do. 1/3 of our students go abroad at some point. The reason being, we just make it super easy. We like want you to get out into the world and explore. So once you're a sophomore, you can go abroad at any point for a semester. If you really if you want to go to London or you want to go to Brazil or you want to go to China or you want to go to Australia or whatever, you can do that. We've got programs in all over the world that we can get you connected to. But the 2 main ones that we focus on are the John Felice Rome Center and the Vietnam Center. So the Rome Center, Rome, Italy. Vietnam Center is in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. And both of those are easy to you as Loyola students to take advantage of because they are Loyola campuses, Loyola programs, faculty members, classes. So like credits transfer over super easily. Your tuition, your scholarships, your financial aid transfers over seamlessly. So those are the most popular by far. Looking at Rome, for example, there's no classes on Fridays, so you'll be getting a lot of opportunities to go on like study trips across Europe, across Italy, and to kind of explore. And some of those are led by your professors, some of those are student led, and it's just a great opportunity to get around and explore the world. So if you're doing a lot of your core curriculum classes, you're like general educations, but it is going to help kind of enrich your academic and your personal experience. So again, just have to be a sophomore, and you can go abroad at any point for a semester. And a lot of what you're going to be doing in terms of the classroom, you'll have, of course, you're going to have some like lecture classes throughout your 4 years, regardless of major. But we really want you to like get on your feet and do things, with your hands, with the equipment that we've got here for you. So internships are very popular, sometimes required by major. Research is very popular for undergraduates. Both of those have their own offices on campus to help students get connected to those opportunities in Chicago or on campus. So you won't be just kind of left to your own devices to kind of figure out where to go do that, regardless of what your interests are. And then finally, the engaged learning part of your core curriculum is just something you're going to be doing outside of the classroom. So really anything that will like get you in an internship, into research, some kind of field work, or service, like doing community outreach, working in a women's shelter, working in homeless outreach, going abroad for some kind of immersion trip, doing things like that are what we want you to spend your time doing. Student life is very vibrant. Loyola students are very active on campus. We have almost 300 clubs and organizations. If you're in something right now, we can probably find you an equivalent. We're a D1 school. Sporting events are free for students. Those have become very popular, I would say, in the last 5 years since I graduated, just because of how the sports programs have improved and attendance has improved with it and the interest has improved. So a lot of fun now to go see a volleyball game, a basketball game, a soccer game, either men's or women's. So that definitely check out. Club sports we have too. We have everything you could think of: baseball, hockey, football, rugby, volleyball, soccer, even Quidditch if you're a Harry Potter fan. Very good Quidditch team, I've told, actually. And then intramurals, I didn't know they kept track of this, but we have the best intramural sports in the country as of last year. So just a great way to like kind of meet people, get active, and just take advantage of the fun stuff that we have on campus. And there's a lot of options for intramural sports as well. In regards to the application, very straightforward. We have a couple options this year. So prior to this year, we were not on the Common App, but we have joined the Common App this year. If you want to apply through the Common App, you can go ahead and do that. That's super easy. You could also just go straight to our website, undergraduate admission, and apply directly from there for a free application. Either way is fine. We don't really have a preference, just one of those. And with the application, we just need 2 things for it to be considered complete. That is the high school transcript showing freshman through junior year, and then at least 1 letter of rec, but 2 or 3 is great if you can do that. But that's all we need as far as like required materials. There are some optional ones as well. Because of the pandemic this year and really just like tests being closed and canceled at a pretty alarming rate, we're moving to test optional this year. So ACTs and SATs will not be required, with only a couple of exceptions. So if you are interested in doing the nursing program or the engineering program or thinking about joining our honors program, we will need you to submit a test score at some point. We're still working on, things like if students, because we understand that students might not be able to get test scores. So in the case of nursing or engineering, we'll probably just wait and ask for like your first semester of senior year grades to take a look at that. But other than that, we are going to go test optional, so you won't have to submit a test score if you don't want to. Other optional materials are pretty straightforward. The resume, if you did an essay for the Common App, you can submit that. That's totally fine. Otherwise, we also have an optional essay as part of our free application that is more straightforward. It's just 500 words. There's no prompt. So it's really up to you to write about whatever you want. And to give you an idea, I've had students write about obstacles they've overcome, challenges, things like that. But some of them just write funny stuff, things that are in their voice. My favorite one was a student from Boston wrote an essay about mustard, how much she loved mustard. Very, very weirdest thing I've ever read, but it was super funny. And it did give me a good insight into her personality. And then the big deadline is December 1st. So December 1st is the priority deadline. So make sure you get all of your materials in by December 1st to have the best chance for not just admission, but also merit scholarship, which I'll talk about in a second. And then the last thing I'll say is just the numbers there. Don't worry too much about the numbers. We look at everything very holistically. So that's the middle 50% average for both GPA and test scores. We don't really have any hard cutoffs, so we will not just reject an application out of hand based off a GPA. So submit everything in terms of like resume and essay, all of that, letters of rec really help me get a sense of the student and where you're coming from academically and personally. In terms of financing, so the biggest one is through merit scholarship, like I mentioned. And the nice thing is once you hit submit, you're automatically reviewed for merit scholarship. You don't have to do anything extra to be considered there. And it's anywhere from $17,000 to $25,000 a year. That's yours all 4 years if you receive one. And you just have to keep a 2.0 GPA while you're a Loyola student to keep that through your 4 years. So it's super manageable, very easy to keep. And that's going to really help cut down the cost of attendance by a lot. Once you've been accepted, and I should say on the merit scholarship, right away. So you won't have to be like waiting for another letter. Once you get your decision letter, it's the 4th sentence on your decision letter. So you'll know right away if you've gotten a merit scholarship. And then once you're accepted, you can be invited to apply for a lot of other additional scholarship opportunities based on your major, your background, leadership, anything like that you put on your application. The nice thing is that you won't have to go searching for anything. You'll just kind of be invited to apply if you're eligible. So on your student portal under additional applications, check early December, but really like January is when they start going out. And usually they're just like 1 or 2 short answer questions, maybe submitting a writing sample, something like that. And that's the opportunity for additional aid through Loyola, through special scholarships. You can find the full list on our website, but there's tons. I mean, like major-based, like half tuition education scholarships. There's scholarships for STEM students, for students going into journalism, accounting. There's theater scholarships, dance scholarships, all that kind of stuff that you could be eligible for. And then finally, FAFSA. So the FAFSA is also a big one. I highly encourage you to submit a FAFSA. October 1st, those open up and just sit down with your family. And then that could go through grants, student loans, work study, all that stuff. Yes, sorry.
I wanted to let you know that in Illinois, every graduating student must apply for the FAFSA. It's
Great.
now mandatory.
There you go. So you must do it. But that is the best way to get access to grants. Being in Illinois, you'll have the consideration for state grants, which is great in terms of federal and then also from Loyola itself. And then work study. So most of our students receive grants or scholarships at some point. So that really does help finance the education too. And then the other thing I'll say is it's always great to start early in terms of additional scholarships too from outside. So we stack any external scholarships that you bring. So please do that if you can, all the way up through May 1st, when it's time to decide whether or not Loyola is the right choice for you. You can bring in those additional scholarships, and that'll also help reduce the cost of attendance. And then finally, the main point I want to make here is just the value. So the number there in the bottom left, the 98%, that shows that our graduates are going straight into a job or straight into grad school pretty much right after they finish their undergraduate degree. What that should be telling you is that a Loyola degree is going to open doors for you outside of your undergraduate career. So whether you want to jump right into your job, whether you want to jump into graduate school or PhD studies, this degree is going to help you get somewhere. It's really going to hold a lot of weight in a job interview, and people are going to know, really regardless of major, that you're very well trained, very well educated. So that's the big thing. That's really the end of my presentation. This is my contact information. I am, like I said, the counselor for all of Grays Lake, both central and north. So please email me any questions you might have. I'm happy to help. I'm home now. We do a little every ABC rotation. So every third week I'll be in the office. That's my direct line to my office. You can always leave me a message. I'll give you a call back. But yeah, I'll be the one taking you through the application process. So I'm happy to do that. And we also have this information here to talk directly with current students, which is great. And then we also have panels that run every day. So if you want to, again, talk to current students, that's very helpful. But yeah, that's it for my presentation there.